Hi. So, I wonder if you hear me okay. I never know that for sure though. If I, yeah, it moves a little bit the thing here. Okay, so I need candy. So, I pulled some cards for two people on our group, but maybe they want to know more and then it's easier. Hey, someone. Eller jag kan prata svenska också. If you like me to speak Swedish, I can do that too. Yeah. So, if they want me to pull more cards for them, I thought they could check in maybe chat here and ask for it, or write on that page. Oh, sorry, I just have these are difficult to chew while you talk. Actually, I realize. Oh my, those Mentos, large ones. Oh, so unsmart that was. I have to put them aside. So, yeah. Let's chew this one out first. So I have not slept much tonight. A few hours. I was on this sweet Christmas party yesterday, and of course it became a little bit readings, but I love it. I mean, to me, I need to put this on not top chat, but I need to put it on live chat. Okay. To me, that is like the fun time. I mean, no, not everything is fun, but yeah, I love that. So I love that more than party. Like, it's very rewarding to do. So, anyways, but it was like a mix. It was very, very cozy and sweet, and the people there were so sweet. So, but I also picked up some mediumships readings, or picked up some people that I passed over to a few of those who were there, and so that becomes like the topic when I'm around people who died. And then I giggle, but I mean just the whole thing, you know. But they are still around though. So one of them was standing behind me, like, yeah. Anyways, so that was nice. And what else? Yeah, and then I didn't sleep a lot, and then I've had some witchy talk group about Wicca and stuff today. And now I will just check in here before I watch Börje Salming. Oh, the most important thing. No, it's not the most, but very, very fun. Kimberly Agnoni. She won Idol here in Sweden. I didn't actually see that she would win, but I mentioned Idol to her the first time. I knew there were a few girls who went to musical gymnasium, who worked in a coffee shop, but I knew her just her first name. I knew nothing about her and so on. And she's the only one I mentioned that to. And that was long before this was public in any way, or even she knew, you know. And so when I first saw that she was going to participate, I was like, so I mean, yeah, a little bit fascinated, not because I didn't think it, because I heard her this summer, but it was long before then that I saw or said that to her about Idol. But then when I heard her sing, I mean, she's amazing. And then after that, and I saw the commercials about her being one of those participating in the show. Anyway, she won this Friday. And yeah, I'm so happy for her. And she's like such a sparkly person. And her whole demeanor, I mean, her whole ways. I mean, she's a fantastic artist and she will just bloom now. She will like really, yeah, she has so much inside. that will show more, even more now. I mean, you couldn't avoid to see it. I guess that was what I was picking up much. Also, her charisma. She's so uh, electrifying. She's like she shines. And but more so, I mean, she is a amazing artist, fantastic in all ways. But I mean, to me, the most fascinating thing about that girl is that she's so sweet. I mean, she's just the sweetest person you can know, I feel. She's so, she just spreads good vibes around her in all directions. She's like, yeah, I just adore her. She's super sweet. Yeah. And I'm so happy for her that she was the one to win. Just because I also know her. I mean, it's her dream, but also because of the person she is, more so. Fantastic personality. Mm, amazing. So the only thing that is a little bit sad is that she's going to leave this town. I wish she would. No, I wish she'd do her thing, of course. But you want her around, kind of, also. Anyway, so, and she's so inspiring, I feel, to everyone. It's so brave to do what she did, uh, to even, I mean, to stretch herself to what she wanted because of her dreams that she have had for long, you know. Wonderful. And I mean, this is just a start, I feel. She's just going to rise now. Wow. I'm going to follow every step, like what happens with her. So, anyways, that is such happy news. And since I didn't see that, so I have been so nervous all this journey from the beginning. Uh, I've watched it all then because of the fact that I said that to her beforehand, and I never used to watch those otherwise. But anyway, so yeah, I've been super nervous because I haven't known in advance what will happen, like during the process. And it's almost like, I mean, she had a hard time realizing that it was true immediately, at least, and still, I almost have a hard time imagining it. This morning, she wrote that I shiver like when I think about our meetings. Like, she's so, wow, yeah, she's so sweet. I do too. I mean, this is Ah, she's so sweet. I could talk about her all day because I mean, who cannot get like happy when you think about that girl? I mean, wow, such a wonderful person. Okay, enough of that now. But yeah, I will have to put links, I guess. Maybe at least one link beneath here uh, about, yeah, with her winning song or something, or a few maybe. I could maybe do it right now in the chat box, actually, since no one is here. I'll see if I find that. Because yeah, just because here is the winning song, and this is like her song now. Then the stars, and I love that she sings about the stars are aligned, and I just felt that, wow, they are so much for her. Gosh, here is that one, and we put it in the description box as well. Maybe I should put some other song too. I will see what I can find. I mean, what can you say? I will just put two there. You can find her yourself afterwards if you want to check. But yeah, this was the finals in the Avicii Arena then. The Globe. Hope she takes over the world. Yeah, anyways. Oh, I have to stop about that now. But yeah, I have almost not realized it. But at the same time, I couldn't feel like as if anyone else could win, like somewhat. But it was more fun not to know, though. So I'm glad I didn't see that. So since no one is here asking for cards, I will keep talking a little bit about about, I guess, I mean, I don't know if it's a medicine we live in, about spiritual development. I mean, that is what the medicine wheel is, or um, I guess awakening, you could say, or awakening to more of the potential of who we are, knowing more of our various perceptions, uh, and understanding ourselves, I guess, and the world and so on better and better, learn to, and that is what witchcraft is as well. To not hide away our greatness and our capacity and our power. Yeah, that can be frightening. Most people are more so afraid of their power than their powerlessness, so to speak. So, but what comes, like, I mean, for example, let's say what I did yesterday when we were only women on this Christmas party, and they share so many stories about what they have been through or what happened, and I feel, I mean, I'm not comparing like that, but I feel so extremely blessed that I have this all the time with me, while so much is questions for them. I'm not saying I have their answers, but I have this constant connection, and I mean, with the spirit world. Um, as well as I can't say if someone very close to me would pass, like now. I wouldn't know how to react or what that would be like anyways, even if I do communicate with spirits all the time, so to speak. More so most of the time, I mean. But to be able to contribute with those messages, and also to um, see how that is a treasure for others, or it's a gift that they really, that brings them hope and brings them joy and light and brightness, that is so humbling in a way. I mean, it's very hard to, I mean, sometimes I can get like, not bitter, but I can get like, go around being, uh, you know, half negative towards this or that. And then when you meet someone who have been through a lot, um, you just cannot avoid to just, how can you not love people? You can feel like that then, that, you know, I mean, it's easy to say when you are in this space. And now it's just feeling all the love for all the people. But, this whole thing that hurt and all that, and heal people heal. So it becomes so clear then that most people aren't mean or want, like, are after you. I mean, want to get to you, or yeah, all those things. And it's so easy to love people then, and to also have what is the, not tolerance, but have, yeah, feel some kind of love, or maybe at least accept some sort of acceptance, or for those who have strange behaviors as well, or even, I mean, you understand that they are so lost, and it's so clear in certain situations. I don't know if I made sense saying this, but I mean, the compassion becomes so great when you hear other stories, or you see what others go through. And my experience is that most mediums and psychics, as myself, often have been through extreme hardships. And I too have. I'm not comparing with anyone, but I mean, yeah, it have been rough. And I think no one would want to change. I mean, trade with me if they could go. I mean, look in the mirror, back mirror, what do you say? Yeah. So, uh, no one, I can't say. There are those who, of course, have had worse situations and would love to trade for mine, let's say. But anyway, so through hardships, also strengths come and power. And luckily, if we reach that point where we are able to be also not as soft-hearted in a weak way, but in a compassionate way, where we can like relax and understand that the world is a good place. The world is also our creation, but it also is there for our benefit. It's there for our amusement and enjoyment and pleasure and beauty, everything good, you know. So, and also this whole thing about, I'm not much of a party person. I was once, way much actually. So, but that was long ago. But um, yeah, and there's, I think many people who don't feel good. I meet a lot of people who don't feel good, and I think it's very much about not being included. And this film Chocolate, if you've seen that, I think about that right now. I think about that often. I think about chocolate, but seldom the film. But anyways, so that talks a little bit about that. I mean, I think, I think that is what is needed: inclusiveness. And if people feel that, and not be, outcast or like, yeah, see, be, treated like an outsider or not invited, stuff like that. I think that is what creates, I guess you could say, monsters. Yeah. So I think no one is without responsibility in that sense. I mean, we need to include each other. And that doesn't mean, I have been very inclusive and very tolerant to everyone, not judging. And I realized that also went too far. Not that I'm saying you should judge, but I mean, I should have cared for my own well-being and so on much more than being available to everyone. So if it's a risk for yourself, if you aren't treated well, of course you should leave relationships or situations then, and not invite that into your life. But when that is not the case with people, we are sometimes so afraid of each other. We are so sometimes so separated and divided also, and that is not a good thing, I don't believe. I think the healing to be whole comes with the inclusiveness, to the oneness, in the sense that we belong together, but not in the sense that we are the same. We are unique, each and every one of us. So it's not a goal to be the same. It's in that sense, the diversion that brings, I mean, all the colors, we wouldn't want just one flavor of anything. We wouldn't want, this is what we like, the complexity of things. It's not always easy, but it's fantastic and fun and beautiful. Yeah. So anyways, that just, and feelings is what makes life tough, but also what makes it meaningful and beautiful. So when I can like feel what other people feel, or get in touch with their some things they have been through or something, that really touches me deeply. And then it's easy to embrace, I mean, in my heart, embrace everything and everyone. And if that's not luxury, I don't know what's luxury. I mean, to be able to do that without reservations, like without then meaning that I should invite everyone into my life, anyways. But yeah, that is to me being rich, or being like abundantly, overflowingly rich, like, yeah, and free. That is also freedom. So when I say humble, also I mean more like, what is the word? In awe, maybe. That you see the sacredness in all things, and even when you don't see why things happen. I mean, when I hear certain stories, I just can't imagine how people got through those, and how could that? I mean, could they? I mean, how could they be in them? Like, why would it happen to them? Stuff like that. And still in that, I can still see in them. They also realize that there is some sort of purpose or hidden meaning in things. It's not always, especially if we are right in certain situations like sorrow or something. Of course not, but that is all. That also amazes me how they can see that sort of mysterious, um, sort of knowing still that there is something else going on that is benefiting them. I mean, I was hugging one of the girls who have been through a lot, to say the least, and she just said, "Well, we can't." I mean, when I was hugging her, she said, "We can't control everything that happens," and she said it's in such a comforting way to me. Like, I can't really describe the situation, but to me that was so wonderful that it was like not it was so deep. I mean, in the sense that it was not only words. She had been through so much, so it just had a deeper um, truth. Yeah, you can say to it. However sad and horrible situations she had to live through. Yeah, and something with her whole, I don't know, energy just was extremely comforting. I hope I could give her something too then. But anyways, yeah. So this sense of service is like, anyways, I'm drifting in all kinds of directions, but that is the most fun thing. It's devotion because it's fun also, although sometimes not easy to understand, or like describe. I mean, yeah, understand maybe is a good word for it. You know, yeah, but still, the sense that embracing all this, sometimes shitstorm, sometimes like all the crappy things, we can have that kind of sense around that something is embracing us, like there is love here, you know, and there is no one outside of that sacred circle, you could say. Get out of the, what is it, room, he said. uh, I don't remember quotes. I suck at quotes, but like, get out of the circle of time and into the circle of love, I think, maybe. Yeah, on the spiritual level, when it comes to perception, perceiving from spirit, that is all there is. There is no exceptions and there is no exclusion. That is about shame, control, stuff like that. And on some level, we need to regulate things. I mean, we can't allow whatever things that hurt others or whatever. But yeah, that's so fantastic. So yeah. And that is such a bliss. I mean, that feels like the most beautiful gift to be able to get in touch with that. And I think, I mean, I feel very, I love to be by myself, and I feel quite happy being by myself. But it's still in the connection with others, when you connect deeper, as I prefer, that that you truly understand that love is like alive, magic is afoot, or what they say. God is alive, magic is afoot. Um, so yeah. Um, yeah. And today also, when I was doing this witchy Wiccan teachings, you could say, um, and I discover things all the time when I do it, which is also fun. And I love the questions that I get. I used to be, I feel like I often question things, but I realized that some things are just okay, like, and then I get the questions from others, and it's fun. But anyways, it was one of those sitting beside there. Uh, wasn't included in the group though, but he said, like, when I said something, suddenly the voice, apparently, according to him, my voice, he didn't listen, he was doing something else, changed. So it was someone else's voice saying what I mean, talking, like, and he like looked at me and just what, as well as something else. So I don't know, but yeah, I find it fascinating all these levels of perception that we can tune into now and then, and also that it can be understandable to some degree. We can I think, actually, I'm not Buddha though, but we can understand all, I believe, but we cannot describe it. That's why those Taoistic or Zen teachers, whatever, are just silent, because we cannot describe it. Words are symbols. They miss the point. They they are not the moon. It's just a finger, like, pointing. So it's impossible. We just, and I keep talking though, but we just get drawn into a lot of words. They can still be guiding us in a direction. I feel that they can be valuable, as long as we don't make them as our gods, or like get stuck on words. They are just like signs in which direction maybe to go. So, but still, I think also in connection with others, I think this whole, it could be animals, nature, our plants, whatever. Uh, in that connection, I think we heal ourselves and others. And love itself, when we are in touch with that, that also makes us want to heal. Because we suffer if others suffer, when we realize that we are the same. We don't want pain in others. How could that benefit us, and how could that not hurt us? It have to hurt us. So otherwise we live in like ego. Yeah, very limited view of ourselves, or perception of ourselves. So as I mentioned about the medicine wheel, but that is like an organic process that of development that we all go through. We may not call it the medicine wheel or use those exact terms or teachings or tools, but we still and that is the benefit of it, is that we start to see it clear and how we can use it. uh, so otherwise it goes on, but we are very unaware of it most of the time. So Anyways, in the South, in this tradition, we start with the physical, and very much is about fighting and surviving there. It's about survival, pretty much. And then the more our ego come into play and our mind, we have mind games with ourselves, I believe, and emotions and everything that gets in the way sometimes for us to see clear. That's also a compass and a guidance, but still we can be too drawn into ourselves that we just don't see any wider than that. And then we also seek very much power in a way that having more than others to kind of defeat them to protect ourselves or to compete and yeah, be better. It's like that is what drives us very much because we still act out of fear. And I mentioned this before, but again, ego, there are many descriptions of this, but as I understand it the best, I think, is that egotism is something else, that you don't even care what happens to others, if that would harm others or to take everything and aren't bothered about others. But or have different rules. I allow this for me, but others should like not have that same rights or whatever. That is like egotism. But ego is our identification with this personality, with this self that do exist in the sense that um, we have preferences. We like certain ice cream, maybe we like certain things in life, colors, even whatever, music. I mean, uh, that is something that exists in a sense, but it's not all we are, and we aren't limited to it. And the moment um, we see ourselves as only that and physical, then we are so tiny compared to everything else in the universe. So we are under constant threat. We have to like try to win over others or compare ourselves and do all that. It's fear. It's driven by fear, and also, I mean, this is still, as I said, it's a natural process, so it's nothing wrong in any of these actually. From a more objective way of seeing it, you could say, because this is how we develop. We start to understand that we can't just constantly live in fear, and so we find new ways and we evolve and ascend, and so then we start to know our own power and our own capacity and our gift, our potential, and want to go further. But if we stop at these levels, we are still like in 3D. We have still not checked behind the veil at all of all that we are. We can learn a lot though on those levels too, and they are fantastic in their ways. But when then they rule us and we that's the only thing we think we are, then it's quite stressful and painful also. So we need to get more insights, and that is and learn to know who we truly are in our essence, our soul. And that is what comes in the North more so. And that we are creators, or some call it co-creators. I would say probably in North we would call it co-creators, and in East, which is spirit itself, which is union, it's no division at all. That's when we are the goddess, we are the creator. Yeah. So yeah. And it's natural. It's like it's just a discovery of who we are. It's not a concept. And obviously, then it doesn't wish ill on others or so on, because there are no others, so to speak. But you can't skip, as I said before, also. You can't like jump past just because you kind of wish that you understood things that aren't yet, that haven't landed yet. No, but that haven't like integrated yet. You can't do that. You have to go that process to gradually understand more and more of who you are, who you truly are. And that's not to dismiss our bodies or our minds. It's just that they are more limited. That's all. And it can seem as they are, that there is contrast there, but it's really not. It's just more. I mean, the soul is more and the spirit is even more, let's say. Unlimited, yeah. The unlimited creative consciousness, as they say in yoga, or we. So, and then there is only love. So, and that love is limitless. And that also means that it cannot be exclusive. That would be, I mean, it just is illogical in all kind of way. Even if we don't even think of logic, it's just impossible, because everything just, that's just not impossible. No, that's not. No, that's not possible. I mean, God, how I talk. Anyway, so yeah. So as long as we still keep thinking in separation and division and so on, we will create those who are the sinners, who will be pushed out of the garden, or who do wrong, or accuse others and so on. And it doesn't mean, as I said, that we have to have certain rules or regulations in those various levels, because everyone, as I thought before, everyone just means so well. No, they do not. Some people just don't understand better. It's not because we are better than anyone, also. It's just because they don't have those insights. They don't understand more. Otherwise, they would never do harmful things, or we ourselves, if we do sometimes, because we are limited and we still think for some reason or another that's the best path, or the only maybe choice we may feel that we have, or whatever it is. But yeah, what it is limited understanding, limited perception. So, but we are still responsible, and we still should meet consequences of our actions and so on, to also grow and learn and evolve. So it's not about excuses. It is about truth. Yeah, what is real. So, and when you get in touch with these kinds of things, and the things I talk about now, I do understand that is difficult for most people to grasp, what I even say, because, as I said, also words cannot touch it, let's say. But these are when miracles happen, and that becomes like ordinary. It's still fascinating. It's always fascinating, but it's still so common. It happens all the time. So, it's natural. It becomes natural, what others would like fall backwards and think, what? That cannot happen, and it happens constantly, you know? So things that would be impossible just suddenly are absolutely possible. We aren't constricted even by the natural laws. And that is freedom. And that's also the visionary. We can define ourselves, because we are all there is. Yeah. And also the joy, sometimes spirituality can be like religion more so maybe, but also spirituality overall can be seen as, it becomes like so dense and heavy because it's so serious, and it is. It's not that I don't take it seriously, but it's or important, yeah, because it also liberates us from suffering. But um, what was I going to say? I'm tired, as I said. I haven't been sleeping too much. What was I going to say? I don't know. I have no clue. No, I forgot it. But still, I think it was about this visionary thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it was. But still, we identify as this universal being that we are, truly are. And there is nothing else than that. At the moment we go back into division and isolation or separation, that is when harm starts again, or when we think that it's a competition, you know. Everybody wins. The evolution is, there is no way to go backwards in that one. We cannot understand less than we know. We cannot get less life experiences or experiences. It's impossible. So we always win. Whatever happens, that's the only thing that happens. We grow and we learn. Yeah. And it doesn't have to include someone else losing. So, in previous perception level stages, whatever, then we are limited to some degree by at least natural laws. We have decided to come into this realm where things are in a certain way. And also sometimes, I mean, our belief systems are also what hold things very much together sometimes. So when it comes to, for example, karma, sometimes people see as punishment, or even, as I more so have been seeing it, like teachings of love, to learn to understand things. Still, that is something we don't have to be stuck to. The now is the only thing that is. We aren't bound or stuck with something that ever happened. It happens now all the time, so to speak, although without time though. Yeah. The concepts make us see reality in time. Yeah. So then we start to, I think I mentioned this in previous, I think I didn't ask. Oh, she wasn't there last time, by the way. But about this whole blowing into stick and burning the masters or the teachers we've had and so on. And I don't think she had done it, but I shall ask her next time. But because we don't have to put anyone on a pedestal, we can love everyone however much, and by doing so also understanding that that is us. It's not separated from us. We belong to them, they belong to us. And then we don't put some prophets be above us, or some spiritual masters, whomever. We understand that we are one. And I mean, that sounds also like blasphemy, I guess, for, let's say, Christians. He called, if that is then what they refer to, like in the Bible, when he called, this is my mother, no, this is your brother, this is your son, or whatever he said, like on the cross there. to his mom, I guess, right? I don't know exactly, but anyways, so what he said also was that we are the same. It's us, you know. Some people call it the Christ consciousness or something, and I don't like certain concepts because become blurry in New Agey terms also. So sometimes I don't like those, but still, it points to a, a oneness that we create suffering as soon as we start uh, separating, whether we understand that we do or not. As long as we go in that direction of us and them and this and that, in that sense. Aside from if we appreciate differences and so on, that is a different thing. But yeah. But if we divide in let's say worthiness or value or so on, that certain things shouldn't exist, or persons or whatever it is, that's impossible, and we create it all. And it's like saying we should not exist. It comes from us. The source is not out there, it's in there. So yeah. Or certain healers or so on. Many have, like, I'm talking about idols now because I just love that girl still though. Anyways, many also in spiritual things. I mean, she is spiritual, I feel, because she have that specific loving glow. I mean, good-hearted glow, you could say. Anyway, so many in spiritual realms also like compete or seek power or seek recognition or seek to impress, in a sense that make them hold others on pedestals because they don't trust that they do have it inside. And that is why I want this person to burn the teachers. And I think she hesitates. Because we have to trust ourselves within. It's not that we should be without teachers. I mean, to be curious and want to learn more, and others have things to contribute with to us and so on, of course. But it's like, I mean, to burn, I mean, just burn a stick. That means that we burn away the limitation of that, whatever teacher teachings, whatever. That is what it meant, by the way. I maybe should explain myself so you don't think I encourage people to go around burning teachers. Anyway, so yeah, I see that happen a lot. That someone points to someone else that is like more. I mean, in all religions that happens. Not all, actually. Not so much in Wiccan, no. Even when there are high priests or high priestesses and so on, those are just teachers that have additional knowledge. That is that, like you could say, gurus is something else, but that also means teacher actually. But usually that is like almost you should worship them, and that is not the case when it comes to high priest or high priestess. That can be a channel for the divine and represented in some way, but it's and in truth also be it as we all are, but it's not like we are on different value levels, let's say, or that someone who learned more about something suddenly are are worth more. Like, you understand what I'm saying here? I think I'm not good at describing it. How about that? Planning what I should say. Anyway, so it's about embracing our wisdom and our visions, not the least. And trusting that we can create all this. We have created even sometimes crappy things, but we can change, so luckily. So, and also we have to first go through the so-called West in the medicine wheel, where the mind and emotions and so on, and fearlessly look into our own darkness and our fears. We have to do it, even if we find it uncomfortable, because that is when we are liberated from the fear. When we have looked there and we realize, well, there was nothing there to be scared of. And I do think that is what we do in our life experiences as well. Certain things that we meet, we our spirit, let's say, push ourselves into situations where we have to be so close to the edge so that we understand that there is nothing there to fear. We want that knowledge, and a part of us pushes us there. Yeah, that's what I believe. So it's almost like if we question ourselves, if we question our own worthiness, our own holiness, you could say, divinity or whatever, uh, which most people, I guess, do, then to learn, it's like someone who wants to be loved. I mean, in relationship with other people who have bad behaviors, kind of, and stuff, to check if they actually are accepted, if they're actually okay, if they actually will still be loved, let's say, and so on. I think we push ourselves to test sort of the waters, test the love, the temperature. Will this diminish the love? Am I still, because we always are, and everyone is. We are children of the sun. We are children of the light. Oh, there's someone here, and they like to. Woo, woo. Oh, someone left, but they left a like. Maybe that vanished too soon. Anyways, I don't see who it is though, so sorry if I. Anyway, I scare people away when I see that someone is here. So, yeah. And I think also we are here to play. We want to explore everything. And we can only play, play in a joyous way, if we appreciate what we are doing. It's also like this whole, when it comes to fear and or anxiety and being in love, for example, are quite similar emotions. Or even, some people get exhilarated in a happy way to do bungee jump or something. Some people will freak out of fear, but it's like the thrill, let's say. I think that's what we seek also, the positive one. And if we can appreciate this experience of life, with its ups and downs, then we can play here in this body and this personality that we came here to be, for a purpose, of course. Our uniqueness is not meant to be diminished in like as if our spirit or soul would like swallow it up. It's unreal in the sense that we just it's nothing, it's temporary. That is what I mean. That's not something that will stay forever. But our true essence will never vanish. And that can transform in how many, unlimited ways, yeah? So, So the greatest, if you should call them then saints or whatever, I say that often, whatever. Sorry about that. Anyways, I mean, just using the same words all the time. How is that? That's not cool to listen to, I guess. Yeah, but masters, whatever. Now I do it again. Now it gets a tick. Anyways, that's another thing. Anyways, I say, never mind. So I guess that's when we are in true connection to our spirit, when we have fun, when we know that this isn't all that serious. It is serious. Yeah. It's not like we should be reckless with it. It's so valuable, but it's fun, and we can live in that light that is joy. We don't have to live in the struggle and conflict and separation and us them things and all that. We don't have to. There is a choice, and that is what spirit chooses. I mean, chooses not to do, because when you understand that it gives pain to you yourself and others, then it's not a good choice, obviously. So yeah. And if we realize that we don't have, there are no blockages, there are no limitations, how can it not be fun? No, I mean, no, not be, yeah, how can it not be fun is what I meant, yeah. I mean, and this is what is true, but we cannot understand it before we have gone through certain understanding or certain shift in perception, you could say. So, yeah. Yeah. So all those miracles become every day, but it's still not miracles. It's not like you become used to it ever in the same way. You expect it kind of, but it's not ordinary still, because although it becomes expected, and it's still always fascinating every single time, even though we have been through or met a lot of miracles, and it's constant miracles actually. If you, no, no. Anyway, so and I think we miss something when we don't realize that we can actually do this in a way where we do have fun and we do have loving, intimate relationships and sexual relationships or impulses and all that is also divine. All this division in between the, let's say, mundane and spiritual also becomes becomes a way where we limit ourselves. I mean, where we don't embrace the wholeness of who we are. And that's not healthy. That's not healing. To dismiss certain parts of ourselves as something bad, our natural desires and stuff. I mean, we should embrace and enjoy them too. All the same, like, yeah. So when as an alchemist, I just read today some meme that came up on Facebook. It was a, I started to giggle about that. It said like, there was an alchemist symbolized on the image. I don't remember it exactly now, but it was like it's someone who jumped for joy because they had pain. Oh, even more pain, lucky me, kind of. It was not exactly that, but because everything we get is like clay, we can transform it. Every energy that comes our way is our possibility to transform. And when we know that, we are constantly tested, though, because we live in this reality where we meet clay, let's say, or the mud that we have to transform into the lotus. Yeah. So, on this level that will be constant, and we have to be constantly ready to continue to transform. It's not like it's suddenly. That is also a concept that is, I mean, steering us in the wrong direction when we think that, oh, I will reach enlightenment and then I sit there all enlightened all the time. I mean, the whole enlightenment, as I would say, is this understanding that of who we are, who we truly are, and the process. It's not like a standstill. It's a constant realization in each situation and moment that we have all the power to transform the things we are in touch with in one way or another. So, and that is like ecstasy, that is joy on a true level. So, but it's also mysterious because all the words fall kind of flat when you try to describe this in words. What else can you do? Like, so, and it's also beyond what is that word? Cause and whatever, you know what I mean? You can't like know. I mean, I do think like this personally, anyways, that it's an evolution of understanding, of consciousness, you could say. And when you realize certain things, it's independent. Oh, now Pat King is chilling. I still like him. It bugs a lot of people get mad at me when I like this guy. I do. And I think he have a lot of good things to say, but people don't hear him because some things that I've said and done in a half brutal way, I mean, expressions, I don't know a lot, so maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But that pisses people off so much, so they kind of hate him without actually listening to the things he describes, I feel. Anyway, so I should listen to him afterwards. Maybe. If I don't sleep. No, I should see this Börje Salming series that goes in Sweden. Yeah. Anyway, so it doesn't come this if you call it an awareness or enlightenment, it grows suddenly. I mean, it's suddenly. Yeah, it could grow suddenly, but it's gradually also. I mean, it have to go this process of the medicine wheel, however it goes. It can go quick, but it can also, even when it's quick, it's gradual, let's say. So, but it's not that you can say in advance that this and that will lead there, actually. But it's a natural organic process until it's almost like a jump, as you see in this Om sign. There are this thing that seems like a number 3 and something pointing out from the center of the 3. That is awakeness, sleep, and dream. And from that dream comes like what looks like a little sliver of the moon, let's say. And then there is a gap. So it's a jump to what they call samadhi. And then the dot is enlightenment. And that is also jump. And those jumps, those empty spaces in between there, I mean, wakenness, sleep, and dream, that is connected all the time. We all have those. But the jump that comes with the others, we cannot make it happen, so to speak. It happens, dependent, obviously, maybe, I don't know for sure, but probably on something. But it's also, it's not like something we can achieve in that sense. It's not an accomplishment. No, it's an awareness. and that's something different. It's becoming aware of who we are, our consciousness. It's becoming conscious fully, rather. Yeah. So, of our existence. Yeah. And to become whole. And that is the most magical thing. And as well as alchemical thing, constantly. It's not like it's done once and then then we are done. That dot is not uh, it's a still space in one way because it doesn't change. The whole beingness does not change. But and from that, our awareness doesn't change either. But it's not inactive. And I remember, as I mentioned also before, when I wrote sometime, I read some book of, I guess it was, um, what is his name? Wayne Dyer, I think. And there was like, what is your, I think it was his book, I'm not sure. Some book anyway. I had borrowed it from the library, I remember, but I don't recall what book it was. But it was like, write down your one true goal. And me, my so-called idiot, no, but I wrote enlightenment. And if I would have known how much crap that would lead to, wow. I don't regret that though. But oh, yeah, yeah. If you want to be pushed in all direction possible, yeah, that should be your goal. If you want to go through all the terrors and hardships you can imagine. No, not that. No, not everything, maybe, but I mean, yeah, that's a tough ride. I'm just telling you, there is no way around it. You cannot get there if you don't get in touch with yourself. Yeah, and you first of all need to get in touch with certain things that you may avoid, and be pushed into, as I mentioned also many times, maybe on another channel though, but about this whole Tibetan nuns or what it was, when the Chinese were there and they were tortured and everything, and someone came and asked, uh, um, aren't you afraid to, because they were like, yeah, causing them a lot of pain and all that, aren't you afraid of for them, yeah, hurting you or so on and all that, and those soldiers, the Chinese, and they asked, no, the only fear they had was that they would lose their compassion. And I so get that, and I have gotten that for many, many years. I mean, at least probably 15 years or more, so 20 maybe even. And still, that's a struggle. I mean, there are new things happen where part of me wants to go into full blown, well, rage, hate, something else, and I have no choice. I have to let go. I have to, if I want to be in touch with my true self, with my loving self, with my greatest self, the most powerful self, then I have to love. Then I have to choose to transform, to be the alchemist, to transform the things I meet to compassion. And I can't force that. I cannot decide to be compassionate if I'm not. That's like, I need to understand more. I need to get more awareness to get to the point where that is a natural thing. And that is constant. It's not like that is done. I mean, then I meet something new who pushes me even a little bit further. It's like almost like, was it, I don't know if that's true, that's the one. Was it Jonah in the whale? I talk about the Bible now again. But it was something like that. Someone that had been Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it's another story. But still, it was like someone that had been pushed. Everything happened. This or then person died, and everything happened like to because God, so to speak, tested that person's faith. Are you truly now? Is that so? Like, and it's not that there is an evil outside God that tests us. We test ourselves. We want to push ourselves to our strongest and greatest selves. It's our own spirit that pushes us, and that also saves us, and that also will never let go. You know? Yeah. So when you learn to transform like that, whatever comes your way, and I'm not saying that it's easy or that it will ever be easy, but it will be the only choice eventually. And that it goes for everyone. We can cling and hold on to pain and suffering, anger, hey, everything, but we can't hold on forever because the spirit is stronger. Our soul and spirit is way stronger. We have to loosen that grip. Sooner or later, we have to. We can be stubborn, but yeah, we can't hold on. That's not who we are. That's not who anyone is. That's just fear. That's just pain. That's just hurt or, you know, yeah, that holds us trapped in that grip, you know. So that's not who we are. That is that is ignorance, unconsciousness in one way. So, and when we start to transform ourselves, then we also transform others, even our own just beingness, as I talked about in the spirit realm, where we just don't do much, even in the soul sense. That vibe, you could say. Now I use Kimberly as an example, but that vibe transforms other people around, gives inspiration just by their beingness, actually, or mine. People's lives changes around those who know how to change life and transform. And it's an inner work. It's not like transforming the outer too much. But that is like a consequence at the same time, though. But yeah, so the whole vibe, I call it, but it's like the aura, the energy field of a person who understands that, is able to do a lot of things that seem miraculous or seem impossible even from another perceptions level. So yeah, we are conscious in a different way then. So yeah. And although I try to share stuff here and now, and I will just drop these things soon, but because you can't to a certain degree try, but you know, still, I mean, that's also something that come up now and then on the feed when you some memes, you know, that you cannot when you want to describe something to someone who is not there on that level of perception, and I'm not talking about value, I mean, I'm just talking about understanding, then there is no way. It's also about what they are receptive to. Otherwise, they would never hear it. But hopefully, someone who is receptive can pick up even some sort of seeds from this. hopefully. Maybe I myself can while I talk. So, yeah. Because the mysterious part of it does not go away also. It's like we will never suddenly know everything and why, so we want the mystery as well. We don't want to understand all that we are, even. Yeah. It seems like a contradiction here to what I said before, but it's not, though. So anyway, yeah, and it's not that I myself, even things that I do, it's not that I can explain why, how. It just works, and I can't say why. I know one thing that I have recognized when it comes to um, certain things, like, for example, when I, yeah, actually, whatever I do, most of the things that I do, if I use cards, do readings, tune in, if I do magic, whatever I do, it works well. So one of the clues that I have, but it's not that I can explain it though, but one of the clues that I have is that um, the whole saying of when the uh, spirit calls, shamans listen, and when the shaman calls, the spirit listens. So it's like an exchange where if I never listen to spirit, I cannot expect them to listen to me. So I think the fact that sometimes it pops up things to me like this and that person is very sad, they need blah, blah, blah. And then I automatically, that is my calling, that is my work. I give that to them because I'm guided to, because spirit tells me that this person needs this. You need to connect, talk to them. Maybe they aren't receptive to it, but I have done my work related to the spirit realm. And that's where uh, this Aine, as it's called, or this exchange continues, because I'm also there for spirit or spirits as they are there for me. And I think that is one of the keys, or one explanation, because I know people who tried. I never got a sign from God. I always have gotten signs, by the way. Clear ones, and constantly do, and all that. And I do think that comes with the whole. I think it comes with that. They may not. I'm not accusing anyone for not getting it. It could be anything else, but I'm just thinking that maybe they aren't so focused on listening into what spirit is guiding them to, rather want to guide spirit only. Like, maybe that is one of the clues. There could be many. I don't think that is the whole answer in any kind of way, but one of them, because I wondered myself. I'm surprised every time, but I understand that there is something is not random or vague about this, because it's constantly right, so, or it works constantly. So what is it then? To be genuine and authentic is also uh, crucial. Yeah, and we are getting there more and more, so the more we know who we are. So anyway, yeah. So we also trigger. I think about Telos, as she calls herself, a spiritual catalyst. We trigger healing in others, which also can be very painful, because we push us on those parts that people really don't want to be in touch with sometimes, because they are painful. Yeah, sometimes that is part of the healing also, and it doesn't mean that we have to do it even in a direct way. It's just the energy that transforms does that. So, and yeah. Yeah. So that's, and also the whole curiosity, I think also is it continues to be. It's not like I had a time period where I was pretty much into Buddhism, more so focused in that, and what I felt was like lacking almost, although there is much logic in all things there. I felt that, I mean, my curiosity also drew me in other, let's say, less peaceful directions. I mean, we want to discover all the things, don't we? We won't, but it's fun to try to, right? Yeah. And the holiness is everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. And we all have our, as I said, uniqueness and unique path to discover all that. It's not meant that everyone should do what I do or in the way that I do or someone else, I don't think. It's very individual or unique for each. Yeah. So, yeah. So we know clearer and clearer that spirit or soul like holds us rather than the other way around. We don't have to seek it. It's there. It's constantly guiding us and it's there. Yeah. So we cannot be like forgotten or, yeah, as I said, outcast, or we do that to ourselves. We judge ourselves way harder than anyone can. We also see it through a lens of, I mean, those who have been doing bad stuff, even intendingly, so to speak, from some ignorant perception, though, because that's the only possible thing when you do harm. Anyways, still living in that kind of fear without calling it fear, I'm sure many don't. Um, the way they view themselves is so harsh. It's so judgmental. So, and knowing themselves, and I mean, that is the block. That's the only thing that stands in between them and happiness and bliss. Nothing else pushes them away. They push themselves away until they don't, because they won't forever. So they have to also grow, you know. So yeah. So everything is in order. Everything is in control in one way. Yeah. But there is no judge. I mean, from the perspective of love or spirit, there is no judgment or punishment. That's our mind who does those things. Yeah. So yeah, and we can't dismiss. I just talked to another girl today who kind of jumped past, and I see many women doing that because we are kind of taught to not be angry, especially not against men. We because we kind of need them, or I don't know, but we are like taught that is not benefiting us or good or whatever. So many women just become compassionate or understanding towards, especially with their partner, without going through they don't have to express it maybe outwards to that person, but to at least admit if they felt wronged or whatever it is, to admit the anger. And that becomes I wonder what I was going to say there. I don't even remember where I was going with that. I'm so tired. But yeah, anyways, I see that happen a lot, that especially among women, maybe also men, but that yeah, now I remember what I was going to say, the whole medicine wheel, that if we dismiss that, if we think that we can kind of ignore or try to be more understanding or forgiving than we are, or compassionate, or whatever, and and not allow those feelings to be expressed or exist, because we have all those things still. We don't, as individuals, like in this life, we don't get rid of the mind or emotions or body, you know. So we have to also embrace that, uh, and let that energy out in one way or another, that hopefully is constructive rather than destructive, and to heal. Because otherwise we just cut off a sort of a part of ourselves. That becomes like a soul loss. It becomes something we need to do soul retrievals to reconnect with. It's like dismissing a part of who we truly are also, and that leads to really dissonance within ourselves, disconnect. And also it becomes the whole mirroring of what's going on. We are more and more blinded, because we just, it's like this cognitive dissonance thing. We're just all the words, we are just capable of seeing one thing. We don't dare to let the other things be there, or another way of seeing things be there. And that is also for the whole worldview, and aggression about that. It's like, if we don't dare to check curiously how other people think about things, or what they see, without being threatened by it, then yeah, then it's very difficult to come to a compassionate place. We have to like react also. We have to give ourselves permission to react, but also not dismiss at the same time. To go further and try to understand, but not the first thing we do. If someone, for example, causes us pain or something, then we have, dismissed ourselves. Yeah. I don't know why I got stuck in that, because it was like a thing today. Anyways, so yeah. But the more we get into this, or in touch with the mysteries or the amazingness of being alive, just then we can see deeper in each person and situation. And that doesn't mean that we always are able to still, but it's possible, more and more so. And we always come back to love, even if we kind of become, slide a bit, or what you say, glide a bit, it gets slippery. That's nowhere else to go than to love. And nothing is threatening there. Everything is peaceful. And also that everything is miraculous. It very much is. And also understandable. Not understandable was what I was going to say at the same time, because I cannot explain the whole thing. Yeah. But still, my greatest joy is doing the things that I do, because also seeing this tiny glimmer when people are like skeptical. I love to do readings for skepticals, by the way, because when they start to when it start to dawn on them, that it first of all it starts to dawn like might it could be maybe possible, but no, like, and you can see the looks that are like super skeptical. And when finally they realize that there is a totally different thing going on here. I mean, that becomes it's not that, for example, what I say or see or something is accurate. The whole miracle in that sense is very much that their world forever is changed, because now they know that there is more, and then gradually that becomes more and more clear and more uh, an understanding of that is what reality is, rather. And then to see how their world like opens up and becomes freer and less scary, that's so super beautiful. Yeah. So, but yeah, it can sound very cocky or egotistical or narcissistic or whatever to say that you are God or that there is no separation and so. But yeah, that's what it is, though. Yeah, and then you want joy for everyone and yourself, and there is a lot of joy in serving others because it's also you. It brings you as much joy as them, you know. Your identity is like I mean, I kind of knew this since I was a child, but also the shaman, as he called also sometimes Jesus, the great shaman, if you think about him taking on everything, all human suffering, like us are, or guilt, if you then would call it. But yeah, anyways, so when I realized that I was a shaman, then if you then use that word, but they have said in spirit world that I could, that's fine, so I do that. So anyways, that is what I'm here for. That is my calling. That is what I should do. I mean, I'm here for that purpose, as bodhisattvas and so on. It's not that's the whole point, like, but it's not that is also the case. It's not like me or them thing there either. It's just that it's a constant serving of spirit, you could say. Yeah. But and sometimes I go back to the limiting waves where my thoughts or personality or whatever, um, habits or addiction, whatever things that still keep me in a loop, kind of. Uh, but yeah, I'm not in any way saying I'm perfect, and I think no one is. It's rather we get a more and more perfect uh, awareness of who we are, and that comes along with love and compassion for also these flaws, if you then would call them that, realizing that I'm on my way, and that is the fun thing, to transform and try to um, work through more and more of those things and get liberated from more and more things, to be more and more free. So we are not a mind, we are a consciousness, which is also sometimes called the light, or the children of the sun, as we are, all of us. And it's not like you learn these things, you transform into it. That is what the medicine wheel is to me, anyways. So that's, I think, also a biblical thing, that you are the light of the world thing. Or so yeah. So yeah, it's about love. Everything is about love. And also another thing when it comes to us and them and this and that and yeah. Another thing about that is that everything is, if I'm in touch with someone, let's take Kimberly as an example, because I get happy thinking about her. That means that she's in my world, she's in my orbit. That means that this is within me too. I don't have to like sing as beautifully, but you know, it's like that with everything. If I get in touch with a teaching or a teacher or something that I appreciate or yeah, value highly or something, because it's in my reference, it's in my energy, I wouldn't have come across it if it was not. So that means that also belongs to me. And that is the positive shadow that we often don't talk about. We talk about fears and all those things, but there is a positive shadow too that we are very blind to often. Yeah. We are the consciousness that constantly transforms. Hmm. So yeah. Oh, whatever. That's what I will end with. No. Oh, I want a candy now. That is one of my things that I should maybe stop. Where is? Oh, I put some here. I will just chew on that meanwhile I think about what to say. I know that people don't like that oftentimes, but yeah, I can try to do it silently. It's hard. Those are huge. Anyways, so all those words that you previously may have thought that was so far from you. I just saw this about Sweden, a program about uh, development of Sweden, or I think Stone Age or whatever. And I lived in Vadstena for a while, where they have this. I don't know what she is called in English actually. Heliga Birgitta, like Saint Bridget, maybe. Um, well known in Catholicism, I think. Anyways, um, and that's how far away that seemed, like saintly to be a saint, and also how boring it sounded. But to realize that, wow, this is so attainable. We all have this. We are just blocked. It's like it's just a veil in front of ourselves. It's like we are all Buddha, as they used to describe it as well. But being Buddha is being aware of being Buddha, and most aren't. We are still. It's like the sun. It's still a sun, although there are clouds in front of it. But we don't know it then. It's still there. So, so, but there is a spiritual trap that most fall into also, and that is when we go into like false idealism, or like being good at spiritual things, in the sense that we try to become a role of a sort. It's one thing if we know it, like as in rituals or so on, we do certain things to get in touch with a certain consciousness, because then we know we act that because of that purpose. But the whole thing, I think it goes hand in hand with a thought of being better, that we should be some sort of ideal for others. And then we are trapped again in our ego. Mm, yeah. So it's just about being real, being genuine. That is what it is. And that cannot be copied either. We can get guidance and we can see a path that others have found or so on, but we are meant to be the unique being we truly are, or each of us truly are. We are not meant to be copies or the same. And also not martyrs, if that's the English word for it. We don't have to suffer. It's not, suffering exists, or rather pain exists, but we have the power to transform things and to gain power or abilities through hardships. Yeah, so they are meant to the tough things we meet, or the difficult things we meet. And I wouldn't say this to someone in a huge difficult situation, though, exactly when they're in that, but still, the the strength that comes afterwards, that's the point. So because if we stay in suffering, if we focus on suffering and talk about suffering, and like that is like the where we have the emphasis of the flashlight, let's say, neon light sometimes, then we also almost um, indicate that there is some sin. I mean, there is some, why would we have to be in suffering, it's like, what caused that? And sometimes also people who live in suffering, so to speak. I don't mean, well, I would just say it like that. And they may do that to themselves, actually, judge themselves very harshly for not doing the right thing. Maybe they don't say that, but within, like, so, because thing is, we don't have to prove anything. We don't have to get approved of by anything, because we are already it. We are fully it. We couldn't get more perfected, even if we tried. There is no way. There is no one to prove our divinity, so to speak, to. It have never not been there, and it will not ever not be there, so to speak. However, I said that. So, yeah, there's nothing left to prove. We can just enjoy. And sometimes I can get a little bit, not sad, because I know everyone is on their journey. And some people have discovered way more than I have. And in all ways, I mean, that can be in all kinds of levels. And that is fun because I'm curious and I love to learn more. But anyway, so sometimes when I hear people who have really, really not discovered any of this, I, I can't imagine how tough that would be. Like, yeah. And but that's their path, and that's probably where they also may be quite content meanwhile. It's just very difficult for me to understand. It's like that's a whole different reality that they live in. And I'm quite sure that they think that I totally live in a quite different reality. But yeah, sometimes we meet though on some level or another. And as well as long as we can accept each other, I mean, as long as we can include each other, even if we just, okay, that's the way you see it and I see it this way, or that's fine. That's fine. We aren't meant to be exactly at the same in the same process at the same time and so on. We are meant to be exactly where we are, each of us. Yeah. So, yeah. What else? What else? What else? I think I've said what I wanted to say. Yeah. But it's constantly fascinating, even if you meet miracles all the time. So, or healings happens, and things you cannot know, and things that will happen in the future happens. And I mean, aside from all the miracles that exist in for everyone that everyone is aware of, like that we actually can see things, that actually the whole reality exists, all these things are pretty fascinating, that our bodies exist, that our heart pumps, that are, everything is so utterly fascinating and magical, that nature itself is amazing, how this whole thing even exists. Everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, we don't even need the other things, but they also exist. But still, yeah. To be able to channel, to be able to heal. Um, yeah. You know, yeah. But that's not better. I'm not saying that is things I talk about now is better. It's just my way of trying to describe this process. That's what it is. For those who are on the path of discovering it and are curious about it. And I'm not saying I'm the very best at doing that, though, at describing it, or sometimes even knowing it. Because I think we cannot, as I said, go backwards, but we can go back and forth. I mean, more and more, and the magnetism or the weight will lean over to the soul and the spirit, but it will move back and forth. Sometimes we are just in our physical sensations, sometimes just in our emotions or some thought process we are stuck in, or whatever, But what happens during those loops, you could say, or something, is that you quicker can go out of them. You can quicker go back to love and wholeness and strengthen that awareness. So it's never like you can get rid of that. When you have discovered more, you cannot understand less. So when it comes to other things, like in the mind and the brain and everything, you can get Alzheimer's, you can forget things you've learned, you can whatever, get your physical body can get handicapped, so you cannot speak, or you can not walk or whatever. So in that sense, on those levels, you can be limited, but not on the soul and spiritual level. You can only evolve. You can only become more aware. So there are some people who say also that, which is very weird to me, that the body is like a reflection of the spirit. And that is very strange, because I mean, there are those who are so enlightened, who are all, I mean, their physical uh, beings are very handicapped, for example, or stuff like that. I mean, that's almost creepy to say so, I feel, because that is so not true. The spirit can be free in whatever body, or is free no matter what. But yeah, yeah. Anyways, it's not like those who are best in shape or professional athletes, they are the most spiritual. Have you ever heard someone interviewing a sportsman? I'm just talking about now mentally sharpness. How freaking slow are they? People say that you get more uh, uh, I say that. No, yeah, but people say that you get very much smarter than if you exercise and so. And I think that's true. Actually, I do think that's true, but to a degree. But I think if you do it to excess, it seems like it doesn't help much. And I think that is could be equally true when it comes to our spiritual lives or soul. That if our focus point is very much on our appearance or on our um uh what is the word for that? Prestation is like accomplishments, like in that realm. I don't think that helps. I think that's a blockage, though. Then we still try to prove our value somehow. And if we then connect that to the soul or spiritual realm, then that's even worse um, because that's just not true. That's not true. So, and not as I see it. So, anyways, yeah, I don't think I have more to say. I should pull cards. I said to some those that I gave a few cards. I said that I would put cards here more, but they aren't here. So I might maybe have to check if they have said something there. I will do that quickly, but hmm on the tarot group. Maybe someone have. Oh no, I didn't think so. I haven't seen it. Maybe no. Okay, that's fine. I hope they don't. I said I would put a link. I didn't do that. Okay, I will do it now. Like forever long ago. Okay, no cards. I just forgot that. I'm so sorry to them. I started to just. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Get all into this. I'll have to write a bit here. So, I don't know why I forgot that. And I hope this works so that they can get into it. I don't know. It seems weird though. Maybe I have to do it different. Wait a second. I mean, sorry for just sitting here and doing stuff, but I think I have to do it differently. I think I have to do it like this. Because I didn't share it. I didn't share it. I think I have to do like this. Yeah, this is what I have to do, I think. New Prime chat, okay. So, I hope this will work. Oh, I don't know. I'll see if this will work instead. It's weird. I think probably this will go better. Yeah. So, I just delete the first one. It was wrong. So, yeah. So I first talk for 2 hours, then I put the link out there. How strange. Anyways, yeah. So so I don't think I have more to say. I will have another candy and then I will stop someday. I'm inspired by her to do whatever. I'm just realizing our potential that we can do whatever, you know. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we also don't have to be pulled into everything if we realize that this is perfect show in a way. We are creators, but we are also we are also I mean there is nothing wrong with the world at the same time, actually. This process goes on. Mm. Yeah, well, I think I will stop. They hadn't seen it anyway, so they don't miss out on, on anything, luckily. So, mm, you know the whole thing. If your faith is as large as a mustard seed, you could move mountains. That's what it is. You can do anything without just have a tiny, tiny faith. Mm. So yeah, okay. I'll just keep talking sometimes without saying anything, kind of. But yeah, because the fact is, when you can do what I can do, travel in any direction, in any time, doing anything, you know, that is so fun. And it's fun also here and now, because that is what our spirit wanted. And I also think that with certain people who are more so only in 3D, I think that is meant to be as well. I mean, they are so deeply rooted in this physical because they wanted their spirit, although they don't know that that was what their spirit wanted to explore that sensation, wanted to, or our spirit, since we're one, but still a part of ourselves, wanted to explore that depth of rootedness in the physical. And we can't do that. It's like we go to a movie and we constantly know that we're watching a movie. We can't enjoy it the same way as if we are totally in it. If we experience it as if we're there, or rather, you know, video games or stuff that people I've never done that, but those are, or those, you know, mm, what are they called? Like when you're even more so VR, like is it called that? Yeah, anyway, yeah. So I think that that's their wish to forget the other things, just to be totally rooted in here and now, and that's also super healthy in a way. So anyway, so it's not that any kind of it's it's just different processes and different explorations, you could say. It's not one that is better or so on. Mm. Yeah. So then I should end. No, answer. Then I should end probably. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've said everything I feel, haven't I? Yeah. And it's really fun to transform. And when you realize you can, yeah, transform your emotions and so on, thoughts, whatever, blah, blah. But when you also know that you actually can transform the physical. So nothing is impossible. Yeah. So, yeah. What else can I say? I'm just, but that's a fascinating experience I had with that. Also, the mantra. Om. Yeah. And also the medicine woman or man. I mean, on the soul level, spirit, so to speak, or so it speaks. Our language there is symbols and images rather than pure energy in the spiritual realm. But still, we transform this image or vision into reality, and that's when we heal. That's when we see a different result. We materialize this new result rather than the pre-concept, let's say, that may have been, or that are perceived in the now. So we become like a magnet there, and we have to have a stronger pull than the patient or the person for it to be a constant change in the pattern of energy, let's say, or the physical ailments or so on. So it's about how strong your consciousness are, and therefore also it's easier to work with a client by yourself rather than other people also involved at the same time, because their energies are also magnets that pulls in certain directions. You can say that they're magnets, and yeah, it's easier to work with one in that sense. Also, it becomes when I channel, for example, I've mentioned this before also, group readings, but I realized that that is actually only those who do that. They do actually not group reading. I mean, yeah, they do, but they actually tune into one and one. Of course, they talk to one and one. So I've realized that. But when I've tried doing that, I take in everything at the same time, and then it gets like stuck. It like it's too much information at the same time that is trying to pull through me, and so it's impossible. It becomes just stuck because it's too much. So I realized after that didn't work well that I have to do that in a different way. I have to focus in on, I mean, understand where I'm guided to first and foremost, and then tune in on that certain person. So it's still individual readings actually, although in a greater surrounding of people, But it's easier, of course, one on one, anyways. Yeah. Yeah. And that is also why it's easier to work with someone who does not have diagnosis, or to uh, use those concepts about themselves or so on, because that makes the pattern even more stuck. It's like it's a stamp, or it's an identification of who they are in some way or another. And therefore, it's better to help someone before they know something like that, whether it's those psychiatric or physical, actually, because our energy patterns they shift with every thought. So yeah. Yeah, every time I see an image in my mind or a thought, I change reality. So wow. Anyways, everyone does. You do too, by the way. um but what's the difference is that you don't have enough. I mean, you don't have as strong a powerful energy field as someone who works with these things constantly. So maybe you can't project your energy into the physical as easily before you have strengthened your understanding of your energy, or identified more so with your energy form, let's say. of who you are as a soul or spirit. So and that's good. You get more powerful. The more you understand who you are, and the more you understand, the less you would want to use that as in a way that would harm anyone else. So an ego is always less powerful than someone that lives from their soul or also from their spirit. So, and oftentimes the shift starts when it comes to those who opened up to this, who are very skeptical or even dismiss it beforehand. It's when they get to like a sort of a desperation, and it's maybe that for all of us. That's why we have to be pushed so hard. Some of us, some stubborn ones, because then we may be a little bit more open to see more things because we have no choice, like in certain uh, situations. Yeah. Yeah. And so we can open up carefully more and more, like. So, yeah. Oh, gosh. This sounded harsh. Okay, I think I will. And then, yeah. Because, yeah, there is no God out there. If that makes someone sad, sorry. Yeah. There is love all the time and it's everywhere, but it's not like separated. Yeah. It's the love that makes us alive, that makes our body function even. So, and we don't ever have to find the God, so to speak, or the goddess, because that's constant also. Life itself is like a witness of it, the existence that we have even. So, I mean, even when we make bad choices from our limited perception, the results still come from spirit. So there is no way that we can lose. There is no way that there can be bad end results. We always win. It will always work out. And we always, our spirit, so to speak, always save ourselves, saves our silly asses, so to speak, when we make very stupid decisions or so on. So it's not, this whole process is not governed by the ego, luckily, or the limited perception that we have. It's something that has stronger pull than that has the like driving wheel, or what to say. Spirit watches over us, everything that happens. Nothing can ever happen to us that aren't allowed, so to speak, by spirit. So, and also through our thoughts and emotions, and we are guided in everything, even in the physical, in everything. Sometimes we don't understand the guidance though, but it's there. So, yeah. And the thing is, there is no, as I talked about this idealism, there is no way that we are like, and that is also a thing that we sometimes label of those saints and stuff like that. It's like we don't have to be good. That's not the, we don't have to be anything. It's not like the aim. And if we think so, then we also we kind of play ourselves. So it seems so when we start to our journey, so to speak, our evolutional journey, let's say, because it's like if we are obedient, if we follow rules, that is also these last years with COVID and all that. It seems like, oh, you're good if you do that. If you do what everyone else does, stuff like that, then we're good, and otherwise we're bad. But is it that easy? Is it that simple? I mean, because we may question things, you know. It's not only that we may be tempted to check if something works that others wouldn't allow, stuff like that exists too, but also that we actually start to question things and start to listen inwards instead of being uh, guided from the outside world, and that is a positive process. We have discovered something when we start to listen inwards more so and make our choice out of that, what we our consciousness, our conscious, also conscience, you say, right? uh, what that part of us feel is right, rather than what someone tells us is right, or what many people even tell us is right or wrong. So yeah. So it's not trying to be something else, because that is like, it becomes like a temptation itself, trying to kind of prove that we are good. To whom? Like, it's all one. So yeah. But during this process we get more and more free and less limited, and less uh, driven by fear, and more so from confidence in our true beings, in our true identity, and love also. But love is misused so many times, because sometimes it's like, when that is used as a comparison to fear, let's say, fear or love, they say, I understand it in one way, but usually that is that thing that happens when people just avoid the middle thing there. It's like the strength, we need to go through the ego process too. We need to have an ego and to embrace that, and to um, uh, see our equal value as egos with other egos too, so to speak. And if we dismiss that and just think that love is like being soft and understanding to everything all the time, we not only dismiss ourselves, but we also abuse ourselves. Yeah. So it becomes like a new trap. Yeah. This whole thing of trying to be good thing. We are who we are, and that's perfect. Or although we change, and it becomes fun to change also, because we realize why. Yeah. So it becomes, I mean, these contrasts also become complementary in a way. This dance of in the universe of all kinds of like what do you say, opposites, yeah, not oppositions, but yeah, everything. The beauty of that, we see the harmony of light and darkness. We see the harmony of all these things instead of putting that against each other, like as if it's opposing each other. We always wish for the other thing after a while, as for example, yin and yang and all that. When we want something super much, it goes to its excess or extreme, and then it turns over to the opposite, and we want the opposite equally much, and that is nature. So we can't put a limit to God or to the divine, not even to ourselves then, because that's who we are. So yeah. And it's a thing that no, I won't go into that, by the way. Never mind. When we see the luminous world, let's say, and our beings as luminous beings, light beings, that makes everything miraculous and also undivided, impossible to divide because everything is one. And it's very natural. All of these things are very, very natural. The moment you discover them, they feel extreme in a way, certain things that you discover to begin with. But after a while, you realize that this is the most natural thing when we see who we truly are, as I said. So, yeah. There is nothing to protect, nothing to divide, nothing to prove. We can just be those innocent, unselfish beings we actually are when we realize that there are no threats to us. And if we try to be better or try to be like innocent or try to be this or that, that is the opposite of the sacred. Sacred is always that which is real, the genuine thing is the holy thing. That's the whole thing. Not what we wish we would be or something like that. So it's like happiness, maybe you could compare it to. We don't have to describe it, we just know what it is. We don't have to think about it, it's there. When we start to think about things or even describe them, we kind of lose them in a way. So we are it, like. So, and then this saying, we are the ones that we have been waiting for. That is not a demand for us. It becomes different. It's not like a demand for us to do better, be better, like that. It's because the whole thing is us. It's the solution. That's what it says, as I think of it. So, but all the time when we talk about the divine or something like that, we create this gap or division. So we can't go there with the means of our logic. It doesn't reach all the way. It can point, but yeah. And when we try to be something else, that comes from the mind. That is our mind to try to be perfect, or some idealistic idea of something. And that is the ego. And it's not that we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it, but the relationship to our spirit, soul, and everything, that's so private, and nothing can even touch it. And also, it's everywhere. So anyways, that was that. Oh my, where did I go with this? No cards. I'm sorry, my dears on the tarot group there. Okay, but anyways, bye for now. I hope someone got something out of this, or whatever. Okay, let's talk another day. If someone is here, then yeah. Bye bye.